Imagine it's Friday, January 30th, 2026. You go to bed thinking your investments are safe. But when you wake up, the world has changed. In just 24 hours, $3 trillion of global wealth has simply vanished. Silver prices cratered by 33%. Stocks, bonds, even crypto, everything is bleeding red. But here's the strange part. The news that supposedly triggered this global meltdown wasn't real. It was a complete fabrication. So, was this just a catastrophic system glitch, or did we just witness the single greatest and most covert wealth transfer in modern history? The day became known as the Friday Massacre. The chaos was breathtaking. We saw headlines flashing across every screen: markets in freefall, global recession fears mount, investors panic. Trading floors were scenes of pure pandemonium. The VIX, the market's fear gauge, shot up to levels we haven't seen in years. It felt like the financial apocalypse was happening in real time, right before our eyes. Assets that were considered safe havens were being liquidated indiscriminately. It was a domino effect, with each falling market triggering the next, creating a vicious cycle of selling. The speed of the crash was unlike anything human traders had ever experienced. But that's the key. This wasn't driven by humans. So, what was the trigger? What was the smoking gun? It all came down to a single, devastating news report. At 3:02 a.m. Eastern Time, a major news wire service, let's call them Reuters for this story, published a bombshell report. It was titled, "Strategic Metals Accord Collapses, Global Supply Chains at Risk." The report detailed a fictional breakdown in negotiations over critical rare earth metals, essential for everything from smartphones to military hardware. For a human reader, it might have raised an eyebrow. But for the thousands of automated trading algorithms that scour the news, it was a red flag of epic proportions. These algos don't ask questions. They don't check sources. They react. Within milliseconds of the report hitting the wire, sell orders flooded the market. The algorithms were programmed to interpret this news as a precursor to global economic disruption, and they acted decisively, selling everything in sight. By the time the news agency issued a retraction, calling the report erroneous and published in error, the damage was already done. The market had priced in a disaster that never happened. Everyone is talking about the Reuters fake news. They are missing the bigger picture. President Trump just nominated Kevin Warsh to the Fed, and the bond market is screaming. Kevin Warsh is known as a major hawk, someone who favors higher interest rates to combat inflation, a sharp contrast to Powell's more balanced approach. This nomination is sending shockwaves through the bond market, signaling a potential shift in monetary policy that could be even more impactful than any single news report. The market crash was essentially a tantrum. Investors realized that with Warsh in charge, the era of the Fed bailouts might be ending, prompting them to sell risky assets, stocks, silver, and flee to the safety of cash. This brings us to a concept known in the darker corners of Wall Street as the engineered flush. Think of it like a massive, coordinated whale making a splash to scare away all the smaller fish. Here's how it works. The market is full of retail investors, regular people like you and me, many of whom trade with leverage, meaning they've borrowed money to increase their position size. This is great when the market goes up, but it's catastrophic when it goes down. When prices fall sharply, these leveraged investors get a margin call. Their broker demands more money to cover their losses. If they can't provide it, their positions are automatically sold, liquidated at the worst possible time, which pushes prices down even further. Now, while this panic selling is happening, a small group of players, the smart money, is waiting on the sidelines with huge piles of cash. They see the fake news for what it is, a trigger for a manufactured panic. As retail investors are forced to sell their assets at rock-bottom prices, the smart money steps in and buys everything up on the cheap. It's a brutal, but incredibly effective, transfer of wealth from the panicked masses to the patient few. So what's the real takeaway from the Friday Massacre? It's a harsh lesson, but a vital one. It wasn't about the news. The fake report was just the catalyst, the match that lit the fuse. The real problem, the real fuel for the fire, was leverage. The excessive use of borrowed money throughout the system created a tinderbox, and the fake news was just the spark. It shows that in today's hyperfast, algorithm-driven markets, the game has changed. It's no longer just about picking the right stocks. It's about understanding the structure of the market itself and the risks you're exposed to. The Friday Massacre of 2026 served as a brutal reminder that in the world of finance, the most dangerous weapon isn't a bad earnings report. It's the hidden leverage that can turn a small tremor into a devastating earthquake. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown insightful, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Stay safe out there and stay informed.